Hello there, welcome back to another video stream here on ARK Survival Ascended, and today we're going to be checking out some of the ruins here on the center. Many people have asked me to do a ruin rebuild here because, I mean, at this point it is kind of tradition for me to is going here. We'll see, we'll do our best. We'll have plenty of ruins to pick from. I'm currently here in front of some, but there's many more along this river alone, let alone on the rest of the map. There's quite a lot of ruins to pick from. So just for clarity, I'm here at the main river, as I like to call it. It's like right here in the middle of the map, going towards the floating island from the islands here at the side of the map. And along this river, there is a ton, but an actual ton of ruins. You can see one there in the back. You can see some right over here. We have more over here. We have a giant one there in the middle. But there's more. There's more ruins here. There's more ruins there. These are actually really cool. It's got this river going through them, so it looks really nice. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a ton. Like mostly along this river, of course. Like there's a lot here, but as you go deeper, there's some more over there. There's basically this whole part of the map is covered with ruins, and they do look really cool. They have some really cool unique shapes. I'm loving all these arches and windows. They are quite complete and intact compared to, for example, a lot of the ruins on the island, which are a lot more broken down. The downside, in my opinion, is that they are pretty much complete, and they have like the cliff that they're built into, so there's not a lot to restore except of maybe adding a door and calling it a safe place. But you do have so much space. Like there is an incredible amount of space inside these ruins, so they definitely do make for some interesting base locations, because it's quite easy to turn them into a safe one from the get-go. You don't need a lot, but today we're gonna of course try to do more than just put a gate in front of the gap and call it a base. We're gonna try and make them look nice, but there's a lot of them here alongside this river. This one is my favorites on looks. It's not the most practical to rebuild, but the little river going through it, the waterfalls, that's just very nice, because you have a little bit of space here, but not a lot. So maybe not the best base, but definitely one of the coolest views. Now, another interesting thing about the way these ruins work is a lot of them have these nice platforms or cliffs above them or around them that actually would serve as great base location. For example, right here we got this big ruin, and then here on top we have, if we go high enough, you can see a big platform that is kind of there. So I think you could actually maybe start with your base inside of these ruins, because it's nice and easy. It's easy to make them safe, and then you have a big platform on top that you can extend your base on and build some cool stuff yourself. As well as, I think it's this one, yeah, this one. You basically have this little valley that is in between a bunch of ruins. If you close it off at that bridge over there, and then close it off somewhere over here, you would actually also create a quite interesting little valley that you can use for your personal dino pen. You have quite a bit of space then, and there's a bunch of ruins connected to this place, because you have some ruins right there, more here in the front, these cool staircases leading everywhere as well. So it has definitely plenty of options in this area. So that's why we're gonna get started here. Today we're gonna focus on rebuilding some ruins into bases, so trying to make them safe and cool bases to live. But eventually I might start adding more builds on top of these cliffs, platforms, and all this landscape to make it into a giant base altogether. I think that could be kind of cool and allow a little bit more creativity in builds. But if you just want a quick save base, I think these ruins are a great choice. Hello there, everyone. Hello there. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, so we're going to get started. I just need to pick which room we're going to get started with. I think I'm going to start in this little vicinity. So either these ones, which could be kind of cool. They have like a little curve to them. You have this entrance here in the back that leads to even more ruins along the river. You got the nice view here of this river, which I really like, with all those cool rock formations as well. So yeah, this one is pretty cool. And then here it kind of connects to this platform which overlooks some of the other ruins basically. And this platform itself is pretty safe. You do have one of the staircases. That's another thing that I really like about this area. They have a lot of these ruined stairs that lead up to these platforms. So if you build a base on this platform, which seems relatively safe, not too many things are spawning here, it's easy to make a safe platform, build your own stuff on there, and then maybe combine it with a ruin, which is what I think I'm gonna end up doing. Like, I'm gonna start with the ruins rebuild as a start of the base, but slowly expand outward. And then we have another ruin here, staircase leading up there, some arches here that could be turned into gates, I think. And then you have some ruin here, some room to build a base in, and then the area that I discussed before that I think could turn into a very nice and big dino pen area as well. So there's definitely a lot of potential. There's more ruins here as well, so plenty of ruins to go. I think first of all we would like to do a little bit of planning of what could be the possible future. So for example, if I turn this whole thing into something, I'm probably going to have like a wall going from there to somewhere over there, just to close in this dino pen that I want to create and still have access to that platform up there as well. So this could be an interesting ruin to start with. You know, nice, simple and easy. This would be something that you could do very early on with few resources and get a little starter base going. So maybe that is where we're going to start. So let's say you come here early on, you see this ruin, you think, I want to make this into my base. All you really need is a little wall with a gate over there, and then maybe close this off, although I doubt many things are going to come in from this way since it leads up to part of this ruin. So I honestly wouldn't really mind keeping this open a little bit more, because in the future I'll probably add more builds on top of those ruins as well. So mostly we just want to make sure that we can build in here and turn this into a starter base, a ruin starter base. Who doesn't like that? So first off, I'm gonna clear out a little bit of the resources, because they are definitely going to be sticking out from whatever foundations we end up placing. I don't think these rocks can go. They are all part of the ruin themselves. This one can go. So we're just gonna clear it out a little bit before we start. Yeah, these rocks are all going to be part of the ruin, so that's not really going to be worth checking out. And then I think most of it is just plants. So I want to take a stone foundation, I think. Although using adobe could also be a shout. Let's see, if we go for a foundation, let's just go vanilla. So we go stone foundation, but we'll check out the adobe as well, because it might fit with this more sandstone-y design. There's a command if you want to remove every node and foliage. Oof. Yeah, but I don't want to remove too much, because I think some of the foliage could actually be quite nice to have. Is there anything that we kind of need to line up with? I don't think so, because realistically, I'm not going to build like windows into these arches, because I think these arches are too nice to block off. I think I want to have that view. So all I think I want to do is at some point create like a balcony on the outside. So I think what I want to do is just line my foundation up like this and then just continue it all the way. But the question is, are we going to go for stone that we paint, or are we actually going to go for adobe? And I think, looking at this, I think adobe might be the better option because it just matches with the color of these ruins quite well. So I think I'm going to lower them a little bit. Okay, and I think the line that I want to have is the line here at the front of the ruins. So I'm just gonna see if I can connect it all the way to one side and then all the way to the other side without like being too crooked or overlapping to the outside, what we don't want. I think we are going to be fine here. I'm gonna place down this line of foundations. I think that's probably the end for this hallway before we start making the turn eventually. And then we're just gonna fill in most of these foundations to kind of just create the base, because every foundation we place now just makes sure that this whole hallway that we have going on here basically starts becoming our base now, because we can now place whatever we want in this hallway that we have. And again, here I don't think I'm going to bother by lining things up, because in my opinion this can stay open because I'm going to expand at some point. But of course, if you wanted to, you could easily place like a door, but I probably would place the gate at the end of the hallway then. So we're going to place this one in, and that means that we have a pretty nice hallway already. Like, this whole hallway, not much has changed looks wise. It still pretty much looks like the same ruin that we had before. The only difference is that we can now actually build in here, which is kind of cool. This is now basically a base already. I think we're going to clear out a little bit of the plants though, because yeah, they are definitely taking up a little bit more space than we would want. Luckily, the whip is a great tool to get rid of some of those plants. Now, some of these, like this, I would kind of like to keep. I don't know if I could even get rid of those, but I definitely would like to keep them around. So, just gonna clear out this corner over here. This one definitely needs to go. That one can actually stay. I don't mind that too much. I think I'm gonna have that one stay as well, because a little bit of the greenery and the overgrown feel, I think, is also part of the ruin aesthetics. So I kind of want to keep that around without having to place down like plants and pots myself. Actually, those up there can stay. I just want to get rid of the ones at the bottom here as well. I think I actually like this little piece here in the middle. So I think I'm just going to keep those as like natural block of this area. And we're going to probably extend this with a like a little balcony at some point. Okay, we're going to get rid of some of these plants out here. Again, I think I'm going to keep these on the walls. I kind of like the look of those. And then this part, we're going to clear out a little bit more. I think this we're going to also clear out because we have the plants up there. And we don't want to have our base being too overgrown. But of course, you could also do this as soon as you start decorating and you figure out like what areas you're actually using and what you would have prefer to have plants in. There we go. That's a pretty good start. That is the start of our little base here. Now, I think what we want to do is we want to figure out how we can use more of this hallway. Now, ideally, what would be great for us is if we start using the quarter or triangle foundations, is that we would line up with the exit of this cave. It's not perfectly aligned, but I think we could probably make it work, and this would be a whole lot easier than coming up with any other way. So basically now we're gonna lay down foundations again. It's a little bit more tricky to see in some of these spots because of all the things being quite overgrown here. But again, we can clear them out whenever we want. If we want to be able to use this space. And I think we're definitely going to have to clear out a little bit more here because it's definitely getting quite tricky to see where we're actually placing things. There we go. So we're basically going to do this for the whole hallway because we want to get as much space. We got a visitor here, which looks kind of bloody. Exactly the reason why we want to have a gate in here. I think I want to extend it by at least one more. Now, of course, you could also just build it out of stone if you want that, because that's definitely a lot easier to make, survival especially. But just because of the color, the adobe actually does fit very nicely with these ruins. Let's clear out a bunch of these plants to actually be able to see what we've done so far. There we go. We created basically another whole hallway that we can now start decorating and actually use as part of our base, especially once we make the end of this and make a gate here. Make it into a proper base. And there's a lot of this greenery. Everything that grows on the wall, I think I want to keep around, but the other stuff, I definitely want to trim back a little bit to create some more base instead of just jungle. Well, there goes my whip. There we go. Yeah, I think we want to get rid of some of this on the ground as well, because there's a lot of it and it's blocking a lot of our hallway. Yeah, like the little bits on the wall, I definitely want to keep around because I think the green does add a lot to the place. Just don't want to have it everywhere. And then this tree is going to go as well. Okay, someone's very happy that I'm working on a ruin. But yeah, this is already a lot of space. And this is quite easy to do early on because all you need is to make foundations and then some triangle foundations. And then basically this whole hallway is now already pretty much usable as a base. And now, of course, we're gonna try to make it look a little bit nicer as well by making a nice entrance here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend this by 2 more, which are gonna be on the outside. So I think I'm gonna place my gate down there. So I think we're probably gonna keep with the adobe for this, just because it matches quite nicely with the existing ruins. I think the gate's gonna be right there. Yeah, that looks all right. There we go. Yeah, the adobe is definitely the choice for this because ARK really likes this sandy color for all of their rocks and all of their ruins as well. Like, they're all matching, so this really helps. I'm gonna extend this foundation a little bit just because I want to kind of have this little platform before I go down in a staircase going into the rest of the landscape. Just gonna go all the way here. Outside we're definitely gonna keep all the greenery. So we'll take out some more adobe pieces, the staircase, the walls. Let's just take a bunch of it because I'm gonna start detailing now, so we're probably going to need it. The pillar and the wall is for sure something that we want to have. There we go. So first of all, we're gonna see. Okay, we can't add anything to that corner, so that's basically just the end then. In that case, I think we want to have a little bit more of a rounded end. Here, it did go all the way there into the mountain. That's fine. And we're going to just have the stairs here on the end as a way. Wait, where did I place that stair? The stair was inside of the foundation. That's kind of weird. I guess we just have it like that. And there's plants in there, so you don't really see that. But yeah, now you have a little nice stair going up to your gate, to whatever, you know, you want to have inside. We have room to maybe place some lights out here and stuff like that. And then for the wall, we're gonna just start filling this in like so. I think that's the texture that we want, yeah. So we're gonna start with the bare minimum here for the wall, which isn't too bad. There isn't a lot we can do obviously here because there's only so little that we see of the wall. I would like a little bit more depth. Like this is sticking out a lot more. So maybe what we actually do is we rotate this gate. So we have it stick out more on the outside, so it's a little bit better visible from the outside. There we go. Yeah, and from the inside, that's still fine, but I think it's better to have the detail here on the outside. And then what we could have is have pillars right here, which adds another little layer of detail and depth. And it's one of the few things that we could actually do. Might actually add another one of them right here. Because we're working with very, very little here. Very little going on here. But that's a good start. Thank you for subscribing. So yeah, there's not too much you can do here to add details on a wall this small. You don't want to do too much, so I think I probably would leave it like this. Of course, you could add windows or something like that if you want to, because maybe you want to be able to look outside if the gate's closed, you know, see what's outside, if there's like dinos on the outside somewhere. So what you can then do, probably these two next to it, we could turn into some windows. Gonna see what would be the nicest way for this ruin. I think we're gonna go with something that we used to do a lot in the western town. I think we might be able to get away with that. So we want to place it like this. Thin pillars, and then we want to have thin pillars here. Let's see. Oh, that does stick out. That's unfortunate. I was going to make like a cross in there, but that's not really going to work here without sticking into the gates. So probably don't want to do that. Could we work around that? We could, but we would have to change this wall a little bit more. No, that can actually stay. So what we want to do is we want to do it like this, which I guess is still totally fine. There we go. We can still have that window right here just to be able to look outside. We do lose the pillar, but I think that's fine. Let's see, could we also fit it here? Maybe, let's see. Okay. The window fits. And then we want to kind of extend these which I guess only works with the full walls. But that's fine. We somehow still made this work. And then we should be able to get the little window in here. So at least, even if the gate's closed, you could still check outside, see what's going on, and you have some light coming in as well. And if you wanted to, you could add some more detail by like doing these beams on the top and bottom. Just adds a little bit more. I don't think you can do much more on this. What I probably would also do is add some like turrets or maybe some species plants. Probably I would go for the species plants because that fits like the whole overgrown ruin vibe a little bit more. So you would have those close here to the front and probably actually place a few more of those a little bit further out so that you're well protected on this side when you're leaving your base. And then we have this whole hallway already. So that's actually the only thing you need to do. You need to build a gate with this small wall. And now this whole place is basically a safe base for you to work in. You can place stuff everywhere now because we have foundations all over the place. So yeah, it's actually a really nice and easy way to get a pretty big base early on without having to worry too much about building because, well, we've built only one wall so far, so nothing too major. But yeah, I think that is a good start. We are, of course, going to do a little bit more now with the rune because right now, yeah, we've literally just placed down a bunch of foundations, which isn't too difficult. Now, there's many ways you could do this. You could extend this with like a little balcony made out of the adobe to make it look like it is part of the ruin. That is one way to go. But what I personally really like to do is add some wooden, basically scaffolding looking things. Like this was a ruin and now we've come in and we've started adding little bits. Like we've added a little balcony here so that we can probably land or fly. Is a little bit easier to go into the base. So let's take out some wood. Let's use the vanilla stuff for this. I think we should be fine with that. And I probably want to have railings as well, of course. I think that's fine. We could actually use some scaffolding as well if you have it, because that could really help us make this look a little bit nicer. But otherwise, you could also just use a sloped wall for it. Jeez, we got an acro visiting. He just killed a spider there. Oh my god, look at the sad little dead spider. Okay, well, apparently those are in the area. So yeah, species plants, definitely a nice addition to this, I would say. So yeah, I would just add a little balcony like this on the outside. Let's see, how far do we want to go? Probably like that. I think we want to extend it as far as we can go. Just because, I mean, the extra space will definitely be nice. Now, you could just go on and make it like a big square, but I think it would look better if we go with the triangle ceilings here, because then we can get oh, don't place them there. We can get a little bit more shape in them. Yeah, that thing just kind of arrived here. If I was now in survival, that would have been very scary, because that is a big, strong dino. It's one of the additions, ARK Editions dinos. I think 2 of them already are in the game now, of course, normally, official. But I think all of them are coming, and this guy is definitely a really cool one, because it's quite strong, it's cool to tame, and it's a good one to do bosses with and stuff. So yeah, now we've extended this balcony, we've added a little bit of the shape here on the corner. You could go a little bit further, but the further you go, it does make it look like it's not really being supported. Right now, this already looks a little bit weird, but we can add our scaffolding in, the triangle scaffolding like this, to make supports. If you do not have the Tall Tales pack, you could also just add like wooden supports like this, the sloped walls, to make it look like basically the same thing. But of course, I mean, the scaffolding, literally in the name, it's made for this. So we're just gonna go around, and then maybe every 2 or something we place down some scaffolding. I think that looks pretty nice. It's just the easy way to make this look a little bit more supported and like it's not floating just on the edge. But yeah, this already gives us a little space. Now this is one way to do it. What we could also do is decide to maybe break it up in some spaces. So for example, instead of having it go all the way through, maybe we do one balcony here at these two, and then on the other side, and we have some space in the middle if we wanted to make it a little bit more special. But in this case, I think I just want to have a little bit of extra space available to me as a base. And then of course, we're going to make a nice little railing around the whole thing as well. That's probably all you would really need to do to make this into a nice little extension of your base. You have an extra little bit of space, and more importantly, it's really easy now to come here with flyers, land them right here, and then go inside to the base and do your thing, and still having that easy access to flyers without having to park them inside. Of course, you could just fly them in from there, but this just gives you a little bit extra space and leaves the hallway open for the actual base part of it. I personally wouldn't do much more. I wouldn't make any windows or doors in these arches because I think these arches look amazing. They look really cool. And all we're going to do with the ARK structures that we have available to us is going to make it look worse. What you could do, especially if you have like mods, I personally really like the ASR mod, Architect Remastered, or Architect Structures Remastered, which is a really good mod, very close to the vanilla structures, but they just add a little bit more options. What they do have is some quarter pillar or half pillars, which would be really nice here, because then we could, for example, add them right here. They have a ton of variations, like thick and thin. They have the beams as well, and the posts that we now also have in normal ARK, the thinner one. You could add them like this to add a little bit more detail to your fence. Of course, if you do not have any mods, you can't really do this, but yeah, if you do have the ability to use mods, this just makes this whole fence a little bit nicer. And this apparently isn't divided in the same amount as I would like it to be, so I think we just have to have a bunch more in the middle to make it all work. I guess I could do that everywhere. That might be too much. I think this is still fine, like so. And then probably want to do the same one there, because we have that on the other side as well. Like, I really hope we get things like this in normal survival. Seems like it's really easy to add. We already get more and more variants for the pillars with normal ARK, so this would be a really great addition to just make the fence a little bit nicer than what we can do with the default textures. And now, of course, the next step would be to start decorating this base. Basically, you can place all your storage here, your crafting stations. And if you wanted to, of course, you could make some more dividing lines. Maybe if you want to break up your base, you could, for example, where you have the divide of these normal foundations and the triangle ones, you could add in an extra wall. Or you could find other lines, for example, maybe just around the corner, I guess, for this, but we could add another wall here. And maybe this first part is more for the dinos, and the second part is going to be more where our actual base is. So if we take that line, I think that's around here. So that would mean that we could have maybe another gate here. And I would then personally face these walls like so. So we could create another wall like this to kind of close off this first area from this second area to create some different rooms. But of course, all depends on what you want for your ruin and the specific room that you're building. But all that we do now is we basically create a second room. I would then use this for like dinos. So maybe the Anki is stored out here, and the Dodic, the stuff like that. The frequent gatherers that you use all the time could be parked in here, and then you still have access to the base. I wouldn't even add a door in there, just more as like a gateway, an easy way to go from one side to the other. We could, of course, add a little bit more details to this with some beams. I don't think we want to add them here. Well, I guess we could, because we might as well. You're not really going to see that. And then you could add in some pillars to give that little bit of detail where you can. And then probably would do the same right there. Especially there, it's actually nice because it lines up with this little raised up bit that we have on the side. But that's pretty much all I would do. And then, of course, this creates more places to have storage against, or I don't know, have the world map on there. But especially this would be a nice part for your dinos. So, for example, the feeding trough I would then place out here. This would be the place for your dinos to be parked. And you could even have like your cryo fridge here, for example, to make this like the dino place. If you wanted to. Of course, you would have to have power as well, but you know, if this is your dino parking, your little dino pen, this is what I would do. Just nice and easy. Have some space to park some dinos, not having them randomly standing inside of your base. Cleans up your house a little bit, your base a little bit, and just gives them a nice dedicated spot to be parked. And then, of course, the rest of this is completely up to whatever you need. Probably would make like another little room almost, if it was possible. Here we do not have the best options for that, because I kind of don't want to block off any of the views of these arches. But like having a bedroom somewhere would be nice. Might be easier in some ruins, because we don't really have the option to divide unless we would go diagonal here. But yeah, we do not have the foundations like that, so might be tricky in this case. But in this case, I probably would go and expand to oh my god, he's still here chilling. I'll probably expand to one of the other ruins and make some rooms in there. But this is a nice big base to get you started, which is already really exciting, of course. And you really don't need to be a great builder to do this. You just need to start with the right placement for your first layer of foundations, and very quickly you can turn in a ruin like this into a proper little base that you can actually use and live in, and you have quite a bit of space. This would last you a fair while, I would say, because it's definitely big enough for like even the industrial forge, stuff like that. So yeah, you could definitely live here for a while. And if you're a builder and you want to expand, I mean, there's ruins all around this, so we won't ever really run out of space in that way. All right, well, that was way quicker than I expected to do the first little ruin. But if you're wondering where this is exactly, if you want to go for this specific ruin, I'll try to zoom in as much as possible. So it's located here around 49.7 and 59.6. So just go at the main big river and then a little bit inland. It's behind the first layer of ruins. You have this exact one, because you see the first layer there. This is like hidden a little bit behind it, but this is definitely a good starter ruin if you just want to have some place that you can easily turn into a base. And then, of course, there's many options here for expanding, because there's so many more ruins. I personally, as I said before, I would turn this whole valley into a big dino pen. So what I would try is to get some gates in here. Probably that's not gonna quite fit, but this would already be nice enough. Like, you can't really build anything else on there this way, but at least you would be able to get some quick and easy access to this place and block it off for others. You still keep the arches like this. You could add in a wall maybe, but that would require a little bit more magic if you wanted to actually align them. But knowing me, I might actually want to try to align them, because otherwise I'm going to be annoyed that like one of them is slightly off height wise, different to the other one. So let's see what happens if we do this. That kind of fits. But now we're never gonna get that the same way on the other side, are we? Wait a minute. Could we actually get this the same in that? Because all I really need... Nope. Well, that does kind of work. Because now we have the same level of foundations there. Because we don't really need the foundations for anything else than this. But this would be the easiest way to kind of guarantee the gates being on the same height, I guess. So if you want to be sure they're on the same height and on the same line, you could do something like this. And then, yeah, I don't think you would want to fill this in, to be honest. Block off all the lights. So probably that is already everything you need. And then we can just add in the actual gates. And we're already making this place a little bit safer. And then probably here you could go for stairs. Or maybe ramps. Ramps are gonna stick out way further, so probably just go for the stairs. Do we need anything on the other side? Not really. Not really. Let's see what it looks like if we do. Yeah, maybe for peace of mind you could. The little edge, the little lip is gone at least. But yeah, this is very easy to make this valley safe on this side at least. Then on the other side right there, we have more ruins that we could easily block off. The biggest issue is going to be here on this side, where you're going to have to create some sort of wall depending on how much you want to claim. You can just put a wall right here. I would personally go a little bit further because I would like to have access to that platform up there. So I would go, as I said before, from this corner to maybe just this corner, because we already have the gate there. I don't really need this little piece of land as well. So we could have a wall right there. Yeah, it always satisfies. Yeah, I'm the same. I always say, oh, you don't need it, but I want to. I need to know they are there. Even though you don't really see them. You need to know they are there. No dino can stub his toe now when trying to get into this base. So yeah, I probably would start with that. And then for the future rebuilding, I would probably continue here to these ruins, which actually face the river, so they have some nice views. And I would probably try to do a similar thing here on this side of trying to make sure that we have some gates in to block off any nasty dinos from coming in, or other people, if you don't want to have other people come in either. Well, we're just gonna have to do it like this. Now these should once again be aligned. It's kind of hard to see, but we did the aligning of these foundations. So now we could add in gates here as well to make sure that our base would be safe on this side as well. Ooh, here they fit very nicely with the shrubbery around it and with these arches. So I probably would do something like this. Actually, let's just get them out here. I don't know if we need more gates. Probably not, because the bigger wall is going to be a bigger project than just placing quickly some things down. Probably have some ramps here again on this side to go into the base, and then on the other side probably the same thing. Just want to use the foundations basically to align the gates. But yeah, from here this looks really nice with the jungle feel. I would really try, and I would like to keep a lot of these plants and these trees intact, because I think one of the reasons these ruins are so nice is partly because they are overgrown as well. So you want to keep some of that greenery around because you can't really replicate. With the pots that we have from the Tall Tale DLC, you can do a little bit with greenery, but not as natural as these. And especially this overgrown stuff on the walls is a really nice addition for a place like this. So yeah, that would already be a pretty nice gate here from the start. This is, I think, the rock that I started the stream on. Yeah, look at that. You can barely see that that's a human or a player-made structure in there. It still feels very natural, and that already blocks off 2 of the access points to this little valley. So now we actually only really need to block off this one before we create like a big dino pen with all the room in the world. And then I would probably do something quite cool on top of this. Like here on top of this wall, I think you could make a proper cool structure for like builders. That's exciting because so far the ruins were quite easy. So there's probably something that I will do in the future, like build something on top of here and then slowly start expanding to some of the platforms around. Of course, with all the verticality in the area, dinos technically can still run in from these ledges. So even if you have your dinos in here, you want to make sure you have plenty of protection with like turrets or species plants is probably what I would do because easier to blend them in. But yeah, you definitely want to have some protection, but I think it's still a great way to easily get quite a big base going on. Oh, I love these staircases and everything. I think the next part I would probably do is fill in this ruin as well. Right on here. I don't think I would actually add much to this ruin. Not a lot of scaffolding. Maybe in some places, like maybe on one of this end, I would add in a little balcony. But for the rest of it, probably keep it pretty natural. So with the rebuild, I would probably start somewhere over here on this side. Let's just get that going. I think I just want to place this down somewhere in the middle. And then we can continue like this all the way to the side. Yeah, the only downside here is that it would now stick out. So maybe what I want to do is a little bit more to the inside here. So that I could still place this layer as well. Yeah, that's not really aligned very nicely, actually. So yeah, that's actually the biggest thing about these room rebuilds is aligning your first foundation, because that kind of decides your whole build. Let's see, maybe something. No, that's not really aligned the right way here. There we go. This way, that works. Does it work this way as well? It's a little bit from the edge, but I don't think that's necessarily bad. It does still align quite nicely. Can still have this line. We definitely need to clear out there. Can't extend it too much to that side. Hello there. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, so that's probably the biggest lesson for all these ruins rebuilds. It's just the first foundation, lining that up until you're satisfied. Probably actually the biggest challenge most of the time. Especially now here on the center, where you don't really need to do much more than just getting the foundations in. That's pretty much all of the work here on the center, with some few gates here and there. That's the bare minimum you need to do, at least, to make them into a base. That's the most important trick, the lining up of your foundations in the right way. Yeah, sometimes it's never satisfied. Like, do we already have quarter foundations? I know ASR has them. I don't know if Vanilla has them. Oh, they do actually. That might be a lifesaver. Yeah, these new quarter foundations can actually help out a ton, because now I can fill in this little edge here with no problem at all, and it will still completely align, and I can even do another layer right there without it sticking out anywhere. So that's pretty great. That's really useful for builds like these. No, here we don't want it, because then it will actually go onto the outside. But yeah, that's a really useful block to have. Glad they keep adding more and more structures to the normal game as well. Really hope they keep going with that, expanding it, that we get more and more of the things that are in ASR just in normal ARK. Makes it a little nicer. Probably would have a little stair there to connect with the natural staircase that was already there by the game itself. Yeah, I think they are... It's something that they added in later. I don't think they were always there, but they are here now, and they definitely are a big help. So yeah, we can actually extend this here as well. It's not really inside the ruin anymore, but it does allow us just to keep on building for a long bit further. Probably would stop around there, just because we have the staircase there protruding, so just gives us a little bit of this extra space outside, I guess, where we could also build stuff if we wanted to. If we don't, that's totally fine, of course, as well. Okay, it's not high enough to want a stair down to the bottom, so I guess it's just... This is just going to be a little lip. Yeah, they do that a lot, where they just randomly add the structures and don't really promote them as much as they should. I mean, the thin pillars they added was also just like a random drop. There we go. We got a pretty extensive ruin here again, where we have quite a bit of space. So we have that one back there already. But this one also adds in a bunch of space again, where once again I wouldn't really add in any walls or windows. I would just, wherever you want to, maybe add the little balconies to basically give yourself a little bit more space to work with. I like to make them out of wood, just because I think that looks nice. But of course, feel free to make them out of any material you prefer. I think here I'm actually gonna start with a layer of quarter ceilings. There we go, because I just want to make sure that this is actually sticking out like this. Do I want to keep going there? Don't think so. And then we're gonna go with a layer of triangles, so we have the little shape, and basically this is another little platform where we can easily park some flyers, and to just add a little bit of our own taste to our own structure to this ruin, but not too much. I think I want to preserve the look of the ruin in most places. I would end in these scaffoldings just because it looks like they're supporting the thing. Do I want to have them here on the corner? Maybe I do, actually. They might look very nice. Yeah, just, again, nice, easy way. And then if you do have ASR, I do really like these half pillars. I really hope we get them in the normal game, because they are amazing for details like this. It's just the little things, you know, the little things to add. Because, I mean, it's such an easy thing to add. And they've added already so many of these half things. Like, why couldn't there be also a little half pillar and half beam? Would be really nice. All right. We're going to clear out a little bit of the greenery. Not too much, because, again, I do like the look of the overgrown ruins. So I'm just going to do it in places where it's kind of like too much. This should be part of the base. So we want to make sure that we have a base. But in some spots, like, the greenery just adds a little bit. So as long as it's not in the way, I'm gonna leave it. And we can always remove it when you start using the base and you feel like, nope, I need this space. I don't want to plant here. You can remove it. I think I'm going to leave that there. This on the wall is going to stay. And this, which is in the floor, we're going to remove. We're going to try and keep as much of the things on the walls as possible. A little bit of the greenery here and there, I think, is totally acceptable. Not only that, I think it's actually makes the base look better, if anything. Probably don't want to have this whole corner green. A little bit of the greenery I'm going to keep until I'm actually starting to decorate the whole base. But we'll do that when we know what is going to be what. I think if I'm going to rebuild all of these ruins that are close to this, I'm going to have way too much space to use. But yeah, if you had a big ass tribe, this would actually be a great place along the river, because you can just continue into the next ruin as soon as you need more space. Big dino pen here in the middle as well. Great to have. There we go. Perfect. Again, a lot of this greenery that's going over the edge, I kind of want to keep. So I'm just going to remove the ones that are clearly in the way. There we go. A little bit much here as well. There we go. That's already much better. Here I'm going to keep it because honestly, this could just be outside of the base. I just placed down the foundations in case we want to place stuff there. But I wouldn't really consider it part of the inside base. Now we do kind of need to make some kind of entrance here, because this is still open to the elements and everything. So first off, it would be really nice to fit in a gate like this. I mean, it could actually work. It's not too bad. Maybe. Let's see. We'd want to have at least this pillar. Oh, it's a little bit sticking out, but that's fine. So we want to have that as a pillar as well. That's something you can't see anymore then. Let's see. So probably we would want to have it like this. Probably like that. Want to kind of make an entrance here. So we're going to definitely have a wall like this to block that off. This feels like we need to do a little bit of adjusting for our own needs. Because obviously this feels a little bit too much like it's floating in the air now. So I think what I'm going to do is just create a little bit more land. And we got a T-Rex. Hello there, Julian. Welcome in as a Padawan. Thank you for the support. If you're on the Discord and you link your YouTube with Discord, you'll get automatically a role on the Discord as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I kind of want to... Do I want to have this stair there? I don't know, actually. How do we make this into something that makes sense? This could be it. Because now, with overlapping at least, we could make like this corner staircase so that you kind of always end up here, which is what you want. We still have a little bit of something sticking out here, but I think we can easily turn this into just a new piece of the ruin that is added. And especially now we're using Adobe, which blends it in pretty well with the existing things. I think we can get away with that. There we go. We can fill that in. And then, nope, that's not the wall I need. I need the wall that connects with that one. I think that's all we needed. So yeah, we have a little bit more wall going on here. But, well, we kind of have the corner stair, of course. But it's a little too extreme. But this, with overlapping allowed, you can make these, and that's fine. That works for all our purposes for sure. That's fine. And then we can add the actual gate in here. So yeah, we do have the proper gate. I kind of think that I would like to add a window in here. Just because otherwise it's a little bit bland. What do I need for that? I think I have everything I need. So we're going to go for a window like this. There we go. The tall doorway in there. There we go. Just to get a little bit of the light in there, I guess. Yeah, that would be nice. Fitting in with a triangle. Okay. There's nothing too special here at the front. It's just a big wall with the gate. But I think it works. Wait, is this just... This body just came to chill out. Appreciate my new build. Yeah, because it's basically just the little bit of protection that you need to actually live here. It's getting dark. Let's make sure that we can actually keep on seeing me during the stream. Because, yeah, otherwise it's going to be very, very dark in these ruins. Yeah, I think this is enough. Again, I probably have some of the species plants. Here it's actually really nice because you could just place like a species plant down here somewhere with a crop plot. And it would still look quite nice because there are already these little platforms ready for you. There we go. So if you want to have some safety, I really like to use plants. And especially in builds like this where they just make a lot of sense. You can have them quite easily and quite nicely integrated with the design. Keeping this staircase safe for any intruders. Probably want to have some more plants around just to be sure. But yeah, very easy way to kind of make your defenses. I think we also want to clear out this in front of our entrance. There we go. Seems a little bit weird if it's right in front of our doorstep. For the rest, I kind of want to keep the plants around for sure. I think I'm actually going to keep it quite simple here. I don't want to have a balcony everywhere. I don't think that would fit. So instead, I think I just want to have a simple railing going across. There we go. I think that is pretty much it. Just to keep me safe when I'm walking around the base. Oh, that's not fitting. But now I know there is these little quarter things. And then I can make this all work. Or I should be able to at least. Why Why is it not giving me... There we go. That's what I wanted. Just the right snap. There we go. Just so that we're still safe and we don't just walk off the edge. I think that's really all we need here. And then pretty much the same thing here on this side, to be honest. Why is it not? Guess that's the thing now. There we go. Got the railings. Oh, that might be a crash because I'm frozen. It is. That's been a while. Well, we'll be right back after these technical difficulties, I suppose. Just relaunching ARK, I guess. But yeah, these ruins are actually very easy to rebuild. If you want to have a quick base, don't need to do a lot of building. That's why I think I'll end up doing more builds around them. Because as I said, there's a lot of these cool staircases leading to the platforms around. So I'm thinking of doing more and more builds around that. Probably in my Japanese style that I've been working on. Maybe a new variation of that. Like having some Japanese castle on top of that platform could be really cool. Pagoda somewhere within on top of these platforms, on top of these rock formations. But we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll think of something better once we get to that. All right, let me rejoin the server. See what we see. But you can see quite easily, of course, I'm now in game mode. It goes a little bit faster. But if you have foundations, which is really all you need to get started, and a few walls, you can really easily and really fast turn ruins into a proper base where you can safely live and safely survive in. There we go. Back in the game. Let me make sure. Back in creative. Plans for the Ice Palace. Is that one of the artifact places? Don't really have plans for it because it's hard to match it with structures that we have. But we'll see. Alright, so what do we have? We have the gate here, the entrance here. We got our little safety railings so that we don't just fall out. And then I think this one, probably we want to have a gate there as well. Or some kind of entrance at least. So let's see what a gate would look like. That actually fits quite well there. Like somehow we did a miracle with this lining up. And we actually lined it up quite perfectly here. Because this is a totally acceptable entrance here, I would say. You know, like this. That feels very natural. Almost too natural. I don't quite know how I did this. I'm gonna have some thin pillars here just because I think I want to make sure that I close this bit off. Little reminder, little remnant here of this gap. I'm gonna fill that in a little bit. Just like that. I think that's enough. So that we don't have the awkward gap. That fits. That fits very well. That's surprisingly lined out. I didn't really plan on that happening, but I guess that's a happy accident, because that makes it into a perfect little entrance there. Means that ruin is also pretty much safe to live in now. And you have another pretty big space to make your base. Here, I probably would also add in these railings. I don't think we can fit... No, I don't like when these are sticking out like that, because you see this pattern, which is not as nice as the original ruin that is here. So I would probably go for something like this. Can I make this fit, however? I'm gonna do these ones just because... There we go. So we can have the railings check out like this. We're gonna make them go all the way here. Should I have those? Probably not, actually, because I can't really keep that going. I could, but not sure I will. Not sure what I will do in this area. So for now, I guess we'll just get rid of them, depending on what we decide on doing with this whole outside area, because there's a lot to it, and that is the next step of the base, making this actual true. Metal structures work well with the ice. Do they? Okay. Well, who knows? I mean, there's already a lot of build projects that I have planned, so don't think I'll add too many more to them. But for now, depending on how long we spend on the center, I guess. All right, let's go. We have another ruin here, which is basically ready to move in now, with a little flyer platform here out front, with also a beautiful view of the river and some of the other ruins that are around here as well. We have our little gateways here, making sure that whatever we want to build behind there, which I think is going to be a future dino pen, is going to be safe. And we have another entrance here for the ruins to enter it, make it safe so nothing else enters. Quite open base design, but I kind of like that, because that means there's a lot of natural light coming in. And then we've got another gateway leading to what in the future will be a big dino pen for this base. We have this blocked off. I'm gonna do a build on there at some point. Probably not today, but there will be a build there. And of course then this room that we started with, which is nicely rebuilt. Big flyer landing platform here on the outside. Nice balcony. And then of course the entrance here, hidden in the rock face, with a little dino pen where we can park everything, and then the big main base. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential here, and more importantly, there is so much room, especially once I close off this area with a final wall. This will be a giant dino pen with plenty of space to do like breeding, stuff like that. So this might actually be quite a good base location, and I'm gonna extend it so much more, because we have plans to make like the big wall going from here to about there, which means that we have this whole platform. Let me fly up. Am I in the correct place? No, this is not even the correct place. This is just a random platform. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one here on top. This platform here, I want to try and build something on, I think, when I'm done with all the ruins. But yeah, there's a lot of ruins here anyway. Like, look at this. There's more ruins here. There's like a double entrance here with, I think, yeah, the entrance to like a big underwater cave. But this also continues somewhere, I think. Oh yeah, right there. There's like a staircase here to the outside, access into the jungle. So there's a lot of future additions to be made here. And then I think, yeah, there's another staircase here leading up to this layer, which has another ruin here, which is the one that we could see from the entrance that we've just rebuilt. So this is another one that I would like to rebuild. This connects up to this platform, which is right above the entrance that we've just built. And this, oh yeah, this is the one that leads to this staircase. So I guess we can just have a wall going from that to there, just making sure that this staircase is included in our dino pen. And then we already have this platform on top here where we could do some builds as well. So yeah, this is definitely a really cool, unique area with all of these different ruins for us to work with. Not quite sure which one to do next. Probably this one actually, because kind of attaches to the little dino pen project. For the wall, I want to take a little bit more time to get a good inspiration for something that I want to do, because that's one of the first builds that's actually just going to be a normal build, no ruin involved. So I need to figure out what kind of style I want to be working with here. But yeah, that's going to be a behemoth gate for sure, so we can have the bigger teams enter as well. And then here on top of this platform, we can definitely do some builds. So I guess rebuilding this room next might not be the worst idea. Definitely want to try and line out the gates with this entrance for sure. That would be great. And we have this one as well. We have a little turn in this, so I hope that would be something that we can work with. Let's see. Well, let's just get started. Let's do one more rune. Let's do one more rune, you know? What's better than 2 runes? 3 of them. 3 runes rebuilt. Let's see what we can do. Quite easy with these runes, of course. Oh, there's a staircase here, so we could actually, to make ourselves easier probably, end the foundations here and have a separate thing here going on, because that prevents the issue that the gates aren't going to line up. Yeah, I definitely want to add stuff next to the ruins, because so far there's not a lot of creativity involved with rebuilding the ruins per se. That's why I talked about like adding builds on top and around it, because if you just want an easy base, it's very convenient, of course, very quick and easy. But if you want to design some cool buildings, it's not the most satisfying, of course, to just do these very easy designs. Let's see. Does this fit? This feels like I'm going away from the edge slightly. Yes. That's not really what we want, do we? There we go. That's pretty nice. Let's continue this line through to this side. That's a pretty decent foundation. And then the real question is if this is going to line up any... not quite. Not quite. But what if I do... I guess I can't really... No, that's way too... So I have to kind of do this. Yeah, this turn is... It's not possible with the ARK structures. Because we're kind of going to go way outside of it. That's kind of annoying. Because even this one would kind of intersect with it already. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not great. Like, we turn these into stairs. guess it's not the worst. This is probably the best line we're gonna get. Oh yeah, the island tech base is big. That's still... I'm a little bit annoyed at myself because I designed that at the end of my island playthrough, and that meant I basically never really used it as a base. But it's so good, and I haven't built it since because I'm always designing new things. So I'm glad people are enjoying the base because I think it is a pretty nice base, and it's so much space there. You definitely got enough. Just started ARK Ragnarok, so that's the old ARK. I didn't play AZE that much. Played Ragnarok a little bit. I'm really excited for when that comes to ASA. Can't wait to see that in this new light. As for settings, I don't really know much about the settings. I play on boosted rates for survival, so I think I've got like gathering on like 8 times, stuff like that, just to make it a little bit more bearable. But it's very personal what people like. Some people like the grind, some people want to have a little bit more help because, I mean, it depends on how much time you have as well, of course, to spend. So it's the big Colosseum with the open roof ruin. You mean on Scorched Earth? There's no Colosseum on this map, right? Alright, let's see how far we go actually, because I automatically built this all the way, but I think we might end it like here, as I said before. So we can integrate those stairs that already exist. This is another giant rune, by the way. This is another big base that I'm creating here. I'm creating so many bases for just 2 people that play. We're gonna have all the space in the world ever, if we wanted to. I don't know. I've never played the center. This is my first time on here, so I don't know where it would be. Let's see. I think... Oh, we can get more stairs there. So yeah, these stairs line up with the normal stairs now. That's good. And then I think what we're gonna try and do is basically line these up. And I think I want to do this. Not quite sure if I'm gonna fit in a whole gate here. Is this a rock that I can... Ooh, this is a rock I can mine. There we go. Well, we might check that out if it's still here. I don't know if it's on this version as well. Oh wait, this doesn't line up now because I have a smaller foundation there. Guess we just kind of want to fill this in all the way to here. Just for even more space in this giant ruin that I've already created. Nope. This is again not what we want. I've gone too far. I want to make sure that I align it with the right foundations here. There we go. We're just filling it all in just in case. I doubt you would need all this space, but otherwise we have like random things going up and down. Okay, probably want to fill in these little gaps. There we go. These quarter foundations are really great. Sounds like a really cool spot. I might have to check it out in a little bit. Okay, so we would have a gate there and a gate there. Fits in quite nicely with these. Okay, can't get a pillar down there. Okay, let's go all the way to the top because we definitely have a little bit more to rebuild, at least on the one side. Because we have a little bit more ruin that is broken in here. So I think we just want to basically start with a wall to fill in those gaps. There we go. Not really anything there. Do I want to do this? Kind of feels weird to have this random gap. There we go. Maybe something like this. Do I want to fill in those gaps? No, I think I want to keep most of the ruin there just intact as it is. There we go. Something like that. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we have our gates in place. There we go. Two nice entrances here to our little ruin. That looks quite nice. And then, of course, time to remove some of these plants in weird spots. I think I'm just going to have the stairs going like this. Not really going to extend them. I want to keep the greenery around as much as possible. So, oh, there's some trees in here that we're definitely going to have to remove. But, I mean, look at how big this whole base is again. Like, there's a lot of space here for you if you actually decide on building in these ruins. And, again, the hard work is really just lining up the foundations in the best way possible. And then you don't have to do that much. Not gonna remove all of the plants, just the one that are like really in the middle of the path. Because I doubt I'm gonna use all of this space, so a little bit of greenery. It's not gonna hurt. It's actually might improve the look. There we go. Well, we broke another whip. Go, new whip. Definitely want to keep some of these. This might be a little bit too much in the middle of the room. A little bit of the bamboo would actually be nice to keep around. There we go. There we go. I think I'm going to keep that plant for sure. That's a nice addition. I think we're going to get rid of a little bit of this as well. There we go. Some of these plants can go. They're kind of awkwardly sticking through. There we go. What is this random little thing doing there? Yeah, these ones just don't look very good. This looks a little bit random as well. let's do these as well then. Might as well. Alright, well here we have another choice. I probably will make another balcony here for my flyers to land. And then, I mean, we have still a whole bunch of this room to fill in with even more foundations, which gives us a ton of space in here. Like, this is a big, big room. Which some of it is quite hard to see. Again, I think most of this space back here, I will just leave the plants because I like the greenery. Don't think I'm going to need that little corner necessarily because we have so much space in here already. I would much rather have a little bit of the greenery to basically liven up the place. So we're just going to fill in as much as we can see. Until we are pretty much done with this place. I mean, there's probably some spots I'm missing back there, but unless I really need the space and I'm gonna clear out the greenery, I'm not really gonna notice if I miss a few spots. Then we fill all this in. Look at how big this is. This is a really big ruin. A lot of space to use. There we go. Okay, well, there's a little bit space here for some random bushes that I would like to get rid of still. As I said, most of these in the corner I'm probably just gonna leave. Just some of these that look a little bit out of place on the edges we're gonna get rid of. But other than that, I think most of them we can keep. A little bit of nice greenery, never hurt anyone. This one is also a little bit random. The middle of the room. And then of course here it depends on what you want, but a little bit of these plants I don't mind. This one I would like to get rid of, the small trees. Jeez, another whip. Getting through them like crazy. There we go. Just like that. I think that's plenty. On this side, I wouldn't add in gates because I think this platform right here, we're going to introduce as part of our base. So we're just going to make sure that that is safe and we can build some stuff on there. And then right here, yeah, I think this is a pretty good spot for a balcony again. Just because it just gives your flyers easier access to your build. Now, we can do a big balcony, like all the way through, like we did on one of the other runes. But for the sake of a little bit of variation, we're going to have maybe two different balconies. So one on both ends, just to make it a little bit different and add a little bit more shape even to the whole place. So we'll just have two of these balconies here on the corner. You could also just do one in the middle, of course. Depending on what you want, how much space you actually need. I would do the scaffolding underneath again. Just because I think that looks nice. Makes it feel a little bit more realistic. That it's not just floating out of nowhere. And then of course we want to have the railing around as well. Safety first. Don't think we're gonna be able to do it there. Do it around here as well. That's a little bit laggy, but that's fine. There we go. And then again, as for the previous ones, if you do have ASR, most of what I've built here is all without. But just these half pillars are really good as a little bit of extra detail. And I really hope we someday get those in normal ARK as well, because it just adds a lot to the place. And then here I would just continue on normal railings to make it safe. And there we go. We have a little bit of a build going on, a little bit more shape than just one big balcony. I think that looks maybe a little bit better even. And I just like the way that kind of contrasts with all the sandstony rocks and adobe that we've used so far. Sticks out a little bit more, and you know, kind of blends in the ruin with the man-made additions that we've added to it. And yeah, we have a lot of room in here again. And then this whole platform you could clear out and build a big base on. And then there's a staircase that leads back to this valley that we're going to end up using as a dino pen at someday. But yeah, these are a lot of ruins that we've now quite easily turned into bases. Let's take a quick look through all of them. And then, I mean, you can pick and choose whatever you want, or you want all of them as well. You'll have all the space in the world. We have this latest one that we've done with this nice little platform on the outside as well. Big roomy interior here with plenty of space for all your needs, for all the things that you can need. Those big storage dinos you could use. I mean, there's a lot here to like, and pretty incredible views, I must say, of this river, this awesome terrain around here. And then of course the other room right there that we've also rebuilt. Some gates back here to make it safe, but this also connects to even more ruins that we haven't touched yet, but we might at some point. I mean, we're gonna just continue and rebuild all the ruins along this river before the end, I guess. But yeah, a lot of space here. Quite easy again to get started. If you need a base, you just need some foundations basically to get started and turn this place into a safe haven. Just have some gates and you're pretty much ready to go. Then we got the other ruin right down here with 2 gates down there to close off the area behind it. Keep that safe. You got the nice entrance here where you can walk up the natural stairs going into our gate here, or front door basically. And then we have this entire ruin available as our base with, again, quite a lot of space. All of these ruins are very roomy. You could easily fit into even the bigger structures like the industrial forge, the replicator, whatever. You can all fit it inside, which is pretty nice. And these platforms are just nice for your flyers. We got again a nice view of the other ruins here with our new added platforms, and of course as well the river view here, which is always great to see. And then here the back door, we go into the valley that I eventually will turn into my dino pen. We see another ruin there. We got of course the stairs leading up to this bridge that were also safely closed off with some doors there. And then eventually it leads into the first ruin that we rebuilt today right in here, which again gives you quite a little bit of space. We even added an extra room here so that you have a little place for your dinos, so a little dino pen, and then of course a gate here to block it off and make it all safe. And another balcony, this time a very big one, so we can land plenty of flyers here with easy access to the rest of our base. And in the future we will turn this whole valley into a big dino pen so that we have plenty of space for all our dino friends. I think that already is very promising as a base location. And then we of course have all the platforms that I plan to do normal builds on, so that we can actually do a little bit more creative work than just filling in these ruins. But I mean, for some people that might be ideal. You don't have to do a lot of work and you will still have a very big and nice base, because let's be honest, these ruins look very nice here on the center. They are very nice to make a base out of because of all those beautiful arches, and there's so many to choose from as well that even if one spot is taken, there's a high chance that you find another one that is just as nice and just as beautiful. So definitely a good start to our little ruined base. Once again, I'll show the location. We're right here along the what I call the main river here, and then this is where the ruins are located, so pretty central on the river. And I think now it's time to check out the other ruin. So 49, and then it's 40. So that should be somewhere there on that corner. Let's see if you can find the ruin he was talking about. Kind of curious now. Oh, I think this might be another crash. Something going on with ARK today. I haven't crashed this much in a long time. Well, guess it's another restart before we can check out those secretive Colosseum ruins he was talking about. Just need to wait for my game to reload. The anticipation was too much for ARK. There we go. Let's log back in. Connecting. But yeah, it's kind of nice how quickly you can turn these ruins into a very feasible base with a lot of space. A lot quicker than if you were to actually have to build a base by hand. I'm getting attacked by bugs here, taking advantage of my vulnerable stage here on the beach. All right, let me get back into creative, and then we can continue our search to these mysterious circular Colosseum ruins, which sound really cool to me. I'm definitely interested. Let's see, they should be somewhere over there. Let's see if we can find them. I mean, there's definitely plenty of ruins here. I mean, they should be here. Are these the ruins? They are not very circular, are they? Oh, they are. Oh yeah, I've been here. Yeah, this is definitely also a very nice place. I mean, look how big this ruin is once again. You have access points on all sides. This is a little bit higher, so you have a safe place here. Not an entrance you need to block. And then this is also a pretty good view of the snowy mountain in the background. And you have a staircase here leading down to more ruins. Let's go, more ruins. And then you have an entrance here. So yeah, also a pretty good location. Also a pretty good spot. This is a little bit more confined, actually. This is a lot easier because it doesn't just keep on going with more and more ruins like those at the river. This is a little bit more self-contained and pretty good spot to build in as well. And again, you have the cliffs on top that you could then later build stuff on if you would want to. But even just those ruins, you have a lot of space in there. So probably you don't necessarily need much more than just that, to be honest. Like, it's already a pretty good spot. But for now, we have plenty of ruins right here to rebuild. We did quite a few, to be honest. We did definitely do a good start to these ruins. Of course, there's no decoration yet. It's not an actual base yet. Probably would need to think about like what every ruin is going to be dedicated for. For example, one might be for breeding, one might be the general storage, just your normal crafting area. You know, there's so much space here. There's so much you could do, but we'll definitely continue. And as I said, I kind of want to big some builds around this place as well to be a little bit more creative. And I think my Japanese inspired builds are definitely my first pick for this area. With all this cool mountainous terrain, I think it would be really cool to have like the pagoda on there somewhere, you know, build some of these cool builds in an epic fantasy location like this. But that will be something for the future. For now, I think I'm gonna call it a day there. We've rebuilt 3 of these ruins. We got big plans to make this into an even bigger base eventually, which I think is going to be quite nice, because there's definitely a lot of possibilities here, a lot of a lot of room for a lot of cool builds, and we've made a good start today, I would say. Like, it's a decent start to begin with. Let's get some nice light here with the view here of the ruins. There we go. Look at them. You can barely tell, but they're now all inhabitable by us. You can only really see the balconies and some little railings here and there, but they're now all perfectly safe for us to use as a base. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this stream, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and then hopefully I will see you in one of the other streams of other videos. I probably will be live tomorrow around the same time again to continue our adventure here on the center. And for the foreseeable future, I hope to have a video every day, but I'll see what I can do with that. We'll definitely make plenty of more cool builds. We'll continue this ruin project. I've got another big project planned, and we also need to make an ocean base sometime, because there's so much water here. We definitely need one. But yeah, plenty of ideas, plenty of builds, plenty of inspiration. Now we just need to make the time to make it all come true. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye.